Youth soccer tryouts for parents. I make a video usually every year about this subject matter. Every year I remind parents of certain things. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Niko Alexopoulos. I wear a lot of hats. I am a professional soccer coach. I am a college coach. And I also own a few sports-oriented businesses, amongst them a futsal academy, a futsal league, a sports company. So every year, right about this time, it's reminded that tryouts, youth soccer tryouts. Hey everybody, another video from my favorite place, background, Jackson soccer fields. As most of you know, a couple favorite places of mine: soccer fields, futsal courts, and the beach, of course. So the background for this video is the beautiful Jackson grass fields, as you guys can see them. If you also notice, the grass is not even green yet. It is the first week of March. Every year, though, that passes by, it seems that tryouts come earlier and earlier. In fact, some of you might be getting emails or may have gotten emails as early as first week of February, maybe even January. I mean, it's just madness on how early all the paid organizations are fighting for your dollars. Full disclosure, my income is derived from youth sports. I am a paid coach, but I always say, do the right thing. Lead with the benefit of the customer. And no, parents, you're not the customer. The kids are the customers. So I always say, lead with the best benefit of the customer. Everything else will follow. There is a huge market, multi-billion-dollar market in the youth sports industry, so there's plenty of money for everybody. We don't need to try to get every single dollar from everybody, try to squeeze every dollar from everybody. And you know what? In a lot of cases, I think people are being stolen of their money on false promises and empty, quote-unquote, guarantees. So, parents, this specific video is for your knowledge. Some of you may listen. I hope that most of you will find value in it. Chances are a lot may not listen and just do your thing, which is fine as well. Before I go on, please subscribe, please like, please share this video. Please share with everybody. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel. I just created a new channel called Niko Alexopoulos, and I plan on passing life's lessons that I have obtained through sport and business in hopes that it helps parents, coaches, as well as players. So let's get started. The email that I got this week was from someone that was just venting out, basically. Let me set the tone for you guys. So this particular parent's daughter is playing for a paid organization, an academy here in New Jersey, and they received an email congratulating them that their daughter has made, quote unquote, or has been offered to be part of the team that she's currently on. And they claim that this offer will take the stress away from the family and the parent, and the player, being that they feel that the player belongs on that particular team that she's in, and it will take away all the unknown and the stress that comes with the tryouts. So if there's tryouts and if any players are trying to get on that particular team, well, rest assured, Mr. Parent, that your daughter is on the team. We would like to have her on the team. At the same time, if you'd like to accept your spot on this team, please remit, I believe it was $800 and non-refundable deposit, and the rest of the amount of the tuition is to follow in such an order and timely payments. I don't know. But you have, I believe it said 48 hours. Could be 24, but I believe it said 48 hours. So within 48 hours, please accept our offer. Please submit your deposit of non-refundable $800 so you can be part of this team. So, it sounds pretty good, right? I mean, the player organization / academy is thinking highly enough of your daughter to offer her an early spot and be on that particular team. So, sounds pretty good, correct? Well, here's the situation as the parent presented, and like I said, this parent was venting out on this email, and he or she presented some good points. First of all, the academy basically never asked if the family or this particular player was happy on the team. Secondly, by offering such an early spot, now don't forget, we're in the first week of March. And just to give you an idea for some of you new parents, in the old days, the tryouts, and by the way, these are the tryouts for the next fall. Or in this particular case, since this particular player is over the age of 14, they're not going to have a fall season because they're usually playing, not usually, they're playing high school ball, so usually it's half a season. That means that she's going to start playing next winter, or some academies don't have winter programs. She's going to start playing in next spring. Does that make sense? But let's just say that it's a full year. So let's say that, this could happen. By the way, this was not just this age. That this paid organization made those offers throughout the different age groups. So let's just say that, this offer was also made to somebody who's going to play next year fall ball. In the older days, and I've been doing this for a while, but let me just give you a good sense. In the last decade, in the last 7 to 10 years, tryouts basically were after the spring season was over. So after the spring season was over, which is usually first week of June, second week of June, that's when the clubs would have tryouts and offer spots and put the teams together. Then they have the summer off. Some kids will play summer ball if they wanted to, and then they come back in September knowing that they were already on XYZ team. However, as paid organizations have been formed, more and more paid organizations, now tryouts are beginning to happen during the winter indoor season. So basically, in January and February, there are organizations that are already advertising tryouts for the following year. They're trying to squeeze you to commit and to spend your dollars. But this particular instance, and the reason why this parent was irate, is because what happens is this. They are forcing you to make a decision, to make a commitment within 24 hours in the first week of March. If you do, okay, that means that you're not going to be able to evaluate and entertain other options that may be there. Try out for other clubs for other paid organizations, for other teams. Experience other coaches or players. Once you commit, once you pay, unless you have a lot of money and you don't care about that deposit, chances are you're not going to go and try out someplace else. If you don't commit, and this is where the parent made a very good point, if you don't commit now, the season is about to begin. Don't forget, they haven't even started playing any games yet. The spring season is about to commit. So that coach from that team, if he has a certain amount of players on that team that have not committed, maybe they won't give him as much playing time. Maybe they will hold it against him, figuring out, well, you didn't commit to the team, so that means you're not going to be around next year, so I want to play the players I committed and are coming back next year. Do you see the dilemma this parent is in? I'm not saying that the coach would do that, but chances are it could happen. Bottom line is this. In my opinion, youth soccer in America is going down the wrong path. And it's just getting worse year by year. It's all about the money. Don't get me wrong. Okay? There's a lot of good organizations. There's a lot of good outfits that put the benefit of the player and the almighty dollar second. But at the same time, the number of our organizations that all they care about is the money is growing. And it's getting out of hand. Parents, with your help, this madness needs to stop. But you need to educate yourselves. You need to understand what I'm talking about. You need to stop chasing empty promises and false dreams. I don't care what anybody says. It begins and it ends with a soccer player. You can go out there and put your kid in the best team in the country, on the number one academy in the country. If your kid does not want it bad enough, if your kid does not work hard enough, it won't happen. You cannot buy development. You cannot bounce from team to team because you always want to be on the number one team playing with the best players. Heck, my colleagues and some of the parents, you guys may have experienced this. How many times you join an outfit that promised you everything, that overpromised you and underdelivered miserably? How many times has that happened to you? Do you put value, the dollar value, with what you're actually getting? Do you compare those? If that has happened to you, have you learned? Did you learn from the experience? Or did you just go to the next club that promised you or overpromised you something? I know a lot of folks that go from club to club because they're trying to find that one club that's going to be true to their promises. And they're overpaying. And the clubs are overcommitting. Look, again, I'm not saying that this is every club. I'm not saying that there are not quality, sincere organizations out there. There are. And I consider myself to be one of those people that I do derive an income from this industry, but I like to think that all the products and services I offer are a fair value with the player's benefit first, always in mind. My organizations also do a lot of free events because we want to give back to the community. One of the projects that we're working on and we're going to be releasing soon is a scholarship fund for underprivileged players. There's a lot of quality players that just can't afford to play because they cannot afford the fees. So we're looking to remedy that. At the same time, we also want to bring education, and it starts and ends with the parents, to stop feeding into this craziness, into this madness. Stop playing for the brand. Find a quality team. Find a coach that's sincere. Find a group of families that you fit into. Don't get influenced by all the brands that promise you everything. You got to play this level so you can get to a college scholarship, so you can get here. Hey, listen. I coach at Widener University. Two of our assistant coaches never played, both women, never played for any club or academy. And they both went to college with scholarships. How, you ask? Here's how. They were good enough. They knew that they were good enough. They only play high school ball, but they knew they were good enough. They found the universities or colleges that they were interested in. They knew or figured out the process, contacted the coaches, went out and tried out. Every college would take walk-ons. Every college will do. Or I should say, the majority of the colleges. Maybe if you are North Carolina, maybe if you are Wake Forest, maybe if you are UCLA or Princeton, some of the, Rutgers, maybe you have a hard time getting on the field. I guarantee you, if you call Mike O'Neill at Rutgers University and you are persistent enough, guarantee you his curiosity might get the best of him and say, hey, let me take a look at this player. If you harass the coach and say, hey, listen, I really love to be part of this university. Here's why. I love Rutgers. It suits my needs, my curriculum. I love the college experience. I know you're graduating 4-5 midfielders. I am a midfielder. Here's my credentials. This is what I've done. You might get a look. I think you probably would. So, could you get to the promised land, that of a athletic scholarship into a college program, without playing for a paid organization? I think you could. Is it easier to get in front of the college coaches if you play for these organizations? Maybe, maybe not. There's different opinions. You could play for an organization that your kid is not, playing on the showcase team. I don't know. You could go play into a showcase tournament, and it could be a lot of coaches. Is the coach that the college that you're interested in there watching you? It is? Great. Did you do enough in those 5-10 minutes that the coach was watching you to impress him? Is it better to go into a single day ID camp for that particular school that you're interested in and spend 6-7 hours with the coaching staff? Now the coaching staff gets to know you, sees what you're all about, not just skill-wise, but personality, character, because coaches look for that as well. So getting a little off the subject, but what I'm trying to bring here is that the tryout madness is getting worse every year. Everybody wants your money. Everybody's fighting for your dollars. I hope you guys know that. Now, when you go, think about this. When you go into a program that, let's say, has 2,000-3,000 players in their program, is that a good thing? Well, I don't know. You might speak to somebody who loves it, and everybody loves it. Everybody has a different evaluation on everything. Some people love this product, some people are okay with it, and some people hate it and leave. Okay, but I'm just going to put a scenario. If you got those high numbers, and you guys know who the clubs are, especially here in New Jersey, that have those high numbers. Just do the math. Go on the website. Look how many teams that they have. You figure every average team on the different ages might have 10 to 18 players. Multiply it, and you'll come out with it. Okay. But I know for a fact, and you should too, because if you don't, then you need to educate yourself. There are paid organizations here in New Jersey that have thousands of kids into their program. Is every player being looked at and cared for by his or her particular coach as an individual? Or are you just a number? In Europe, in South America, there's only one academy system. And that is the academy system that's equal or similar to Red Bull's academy or Philadelphia Union Academy. The difference is that those are professional academies. When you go into that academy, the coaches think highly enough of you that they think you have the credentials, you have the skills, you have the character, you have the work ethic, that if they develop, you have a good chance of hitting or breaking into their first team, or they may sell you to another club. So they will take the risk on that particular player in hopes that they will cash in later on. Therefore, those academies are free. There is no pay. However, here in America, there is no such thing as a free academy. Again, unless you're in the Red Bulls in this area, and basically the MLS franchise. Okay? So you're coming in. Let's do the math. Let's just take an average. Let's say that you're being courted as a family who has a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old from an academy, and you start, let's say, at the very modest, I don't know, $1,000. Is that good? Okay. Now, as you're getting older, and if you stay in that academy, or if you bounce around to another academy, the pricing kind of, it's more or less the same. So you're going to go, let's say, from $1,000 to $1,200 to $1,400 to $1,800 to $2,000 to $2,400 to $3,000 to $3,800 if you're playing at a very high level, NPL, NCNL, all that good stuff. So let's say that you start your journey as an 8-year-old family, and by the time you're over and ready to go to high school, you worked hard all those years. Your kid made all those sacrifices. You as a family made all those sacrifices. And let's say at 17, 18-year-old now, when you're ready to go to college, you should do your math and you check out your bills. I'll make it easy for you guys. Between tuitions, annual tuitions, between traveling to tournaments, lodging, food, gas, time, and if you're really playing at a high level, you're going from New Jersey to Dallas to California to Florida to here to there, playing all these high-level tournaments. You ready? It can be anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 that you spend. Sounds a lot, doesn't it? I'm not over-exaggerating either. Do the math. Now your kid goes to college. And I love when all these paid organizations publish all their players that have committed to college or colleges. Very few are making Division I programs. A lot of Division IIIs. Should we get into that? Should we get into how much money are they getting from Division III programs? Are they getting athletic scholarships or academic scholarships? So you just spent all these years building your player to a college level. And when you actually got there, it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. Maybe that $50,000 to $100,000, it was put in the bank and used properly, that could have been part of your college education fund. Have you thought about that? Again, I'm getting off course. I'm trying to paint a picture for you guys that basically starts from a simple concept. Parents, you need to start doing more homework, educate yourselves, and stop giving in to the temptation that you want your kid to play for the number one team, for the number one academy. You want to play for XYZ brand. Stop. You're setting yourself up. A lot of you guys, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of you guys are setting up for failure. It's either that, hey, two reasons why you're going to do that. Number one, you just got plenty of money and you just don't care. Don't care about the investment. You're just going to do what you're going to do. Forget Coach Niko and every other Coach Niko. By the way, there's a lot of guys out there like me who will tell you the same thing. Forget these guys, man. I'm going to do what I want to do because I want to do it, and that's what I want. Me. It's not about the kid. It's not, oh, that's what my son wants. Oh, that's what my daughter wants. Really? Okay. Kudos. Or, for the reason you may not do it, is there might be some truth to what I'm trying to tell you guys. There might be some truth to what I'm trying to tell you guys. A lot of people want the truth. Most people can't handle the truth. Most people, if they don't like the truth, they dismiss it. He's a fool. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't listen to him. Come to us. We can develop your child. We got all these great examples of quality players. Blah, 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 blah. Bottom line is this. Can we just let the kids play this spring season? Can we let the kids play? And I don't care if they're 7 years old or 18 years old. Can we just let them go out there and enjoy their spring season without the burden of having to try out? And God, man, some of you guys are guilty of this, of going to like 100 different tryouts. Sit down. Figure out what your player wants. Figure out where your player ranks in skill level. Figure out where your family ranks in commitment. If you only want a couple of days here and there, if you don't want to travel long distances, if you don't want to go out of the state, if you don't want to go into all these crazy tournaments, don't go trying out for these high organizations. If your budget is not $3,000-$4,000, don't go breaking the bank to put your kid in there. But how about this? How about this? First things first. Do a true evaluation, an honest evaluation of how good your son or your daughter are. Don't think that my daughter or my son are so good that I'm going to go out and spend $25,000, $27,000, $28,000, $3,000 on a program and the kid is not that good. They don't belong there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of organizations that are willing to take your money. Why? Because they're providing the setting, they're providing the atmosphere for your son to quote unquote develop. That's what's being sold here. We have the setting, we have the curriculum where your son can develop or your daughter can develop. There's no guarantees, of course. But all we're doing is just providing the setting here, the atmosphere. Not, is your son really good enough to be in this atmosphere? Is your daughter good enough to really be in this atmosphere? Should you be spending that kind of money? Or maybe just let them play for a club team, a town club team, for a few $100 until they get better. Until they realize they really want it. Oh, my son really wants it. My daughter really wants it. Is it your son, your daughter, or you that wants it? Hey, I don't want to overdraw on this video. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, follow-ups. Every year I make something like that. Some of you guys listen. Some of you guys agree. Some of you guys don't. And that's okay. That's okay. That's what we're all here for. It's called America. Different views, different opinions, debates. Whatever you do, whatever you decide, this is my take on youth soccer tryouts. I hope you do your research. I hope your sons or your daughters are happy where they go. I hope you as a family enjoy these golden years because they go by pretty fast. And when that's gone, you're going to miss it. Have a healthy, happy, full of fun spring season, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video. Have a good one.